Hello everybody, welcome back to my studio. So I'm going to be starting a new project. Yes, I know, another new project. However, this one is going to take quite a bit of time. I have been invited to participate in the Manitoba Juried art exhibition again this year. I haven't been able to participate it was 2020 was the last time that I entered anything in. They asked me last year, but of course I wasn't able to do anything last year. So I thought I might give it a go and see if I can get a piece done before, I believe it's June, when you have to have your piece ready to enter into the exhibition. So I decided that I'm not doing any animals. I want to do a botanical piece. And I have this piece of fabric that I dyed using acrylic paint, actually, watered down acrylic paint. And I think I have a video on this, so if I can find it, I will link it up here somewhere. But my idea is, here's the horizon, sky, land. I want to have something in the background, and then I'm going to have just flowers, botanical, all kinds of things here. And I thought I would take you through my my brain, my inspiration, I guess I should call it. The things that I'm thinking of maybe using for my backdrop of my botanical garden are pictures in my mind, but they're actually real pictures because I am going to be using some of my own photography for my inspiration. I have hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands photos that I've taken over the years, and a lot of the photography that I've taken is for inspiration of my work. So I have been collecting some fabrics. This is a boutique, but it's a really good piece. It's got lots of color to it, but it has some depth. This is another really nice boutique. It could be used for a little sky, maybe some flower background. This could be a background for flowers. This is a piece that I actually did myself. This was where I was wiping my brushes. It's beautiful. It's one of the nicest pieces I think I have. So I could be using this for sky, for clouds, for lots of different things. So I'm just finding some pieces that are cluing into my inspiration. This is another good piece. So, and then I have a bunch of little pieces, small pieces, things that I can use for background, for flowers. I have a bunch of flowers actually already cut out here. So I'm just in the gathering stage right now. But I thought I would take you along over to my old computer where I have all my photography on there and maybe go through some of my thoughts about the inspiration for this piece, things that I might include. In particular, right now, I'm just thinking about what's going to be behind the botanicals. This is a fairly large piece here, and I think that it's going to have, I want a structure for the botanicals to go up against. And that's sort of what I'm looking for in my photography. So let's go over to my computer and let's look at some of my photography, and maybe having you along will help me make a decision. I have a few ideas, but I would really like to see some visual before I actually make up my mind for sure. So let's go. So here's one thought. I could do the top of a grain elevator. I want this to be something reflecting my life now, or some part of history of my life. So my life now, this is the grain elevator in our town. It's abandoned. It's not abandoned. It's not used as a grain elevator. It's privately owned now. And I have done grain elevators on mug rugs that turned out fantastic. I would leave this part off here, and I would turn it a bit, but that is one idea that I had. Now let's see what else I've got here. Some ideas for the botanical portion of the flowers. I have lots of inspiration in photography, that is for sure, because I've got a lot of photography of my own plants. These are all pictures from my own garden. There's one with a bee on it. So for sure, I have a lot here that I can call on as far as ideas for the botanical part of my piece. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? Those are the kind of skies we have. How now this might be turning into photography. Just going through here trying to find what I'm looking for as far as inspiration. Oh, here's a card that I made for my nephew and his wife for a shower, a wedding shower. Isn't that cute? There again, I sort of had the collage idea, and I actually made the umbrella stick out from the rest. I used some of my paper towel ideas for that. Okay, I still gotta go further. See, here's another way I was doing art on a mug rug. This was a horse. So much of what I've done is already indicative of what I really used to do. Okay, let's go to 2. Oh, there's me. I'm just trying to find what I'm looking for here. Here's another beautiful botanical image with my red bummed little bee. I have several of those pictures. Ah, here's another piece. This was a mug rug, but look at the art. This is another piece where I turned art into a mug rug, but I did a whole series of these ladies with hats, and I called it the Ladies of Summer. They all had a summer hat. This was one. I'll see if I can find the rest of them. I had so many of them that I did. I'm sure they're in here somewhere. Here's another one. This was also a mug rug. I made it into a camera. Here's some more Ladies of Summer. Let's go through them. This was the first one that I did. I didn't really like her very much. And there's this one, this one, this one. Oops, going the wrong way. This one, this one, this one. I still have this one. She's hanging over here. This one. So you can see, I love this one. You can see where my fabric collage started. It started with mug rugs. And that's a good place if you want to try these kind of things. That's a really good spot to try and start somewhere on a small piece. You know, that's something that, here's another fabric collage. I actually have this piece downstairs when I finished it. It was my early work of fabric collage. Before I did anything big, I was doing a lot of little things. And that's sort of how I learned. Well, you look at my mom. Oh, here, look at, this was the finished piece of that first one that I showed you. I saw, and it's a little wall hanging. It's hanging in my spare bedroom. And I did some collage. This has all been collaged, and then I did some stitching over it, and I added a bunch of things on there, and yeah, it turned out really good. And it was just a tiny little piece that I decided to do. Here's my dad. This was up in the Yukon. I love this picture. Here's another mug rug design that I did. It was a lighthouse, and I did it again with fabric collage. Now all of these were stitched on the machine. I didn't do any hand stitching on these at all, but you can see what I've done. It's all fabric collage. It's all it is. I'm trying to find this is the picture that I have in my dining room. I had it printed and framed. And this is an old school house. This isn't the one that my mother went to, but this is the one that was in the little village that she belonged to. That would make a great backdrop too. I wouldn't do the whole thing. I would just do the front part. I could use some old linen that I have eco dyed that looks really grungy and old. I could actually do that front part very easily. So I'm going to have to think about some things and see what I can come up with. Now you're getting some pink on there. There's no pink, it's just you're getting a shadow, a pinkish shadow from probably the window. So I've got something to think about. It might just be this. I don't know. Maybe this or the granary or the school. Up until a few years ago, we would visit this house on this property once a year, usually. And my cousin and I would walk through it and talk about it. And as you can see here, family members have been stripping the wood off of it. Nobody uses this property. It's owned for the land. The person that owns it just farms the land around it. They go around the house. The house just still stands there. So family go and we strip the wood off, and they would make something, frame a picture, or I have a couple of little picture frames that were actually made out of the wood from this. So the last time that Gary and I went to try and find it, we couldn't find it. And I was pretty sure that I knew where it was, but I think they've actually torn it down now. So that might have been, and I have part of the chimney from there as well. Here's some more images that I'm going to use for my botanicals. I'm going to be using a lot of these images, reproducing them with fabric. Now, something like this could also be, without the snow, could also be a really good, actually that would be a really good backdrop for my botanicals. This is great. Now I've got way too many ideas. So I'm just going to think on it for a little while and see what I can come up with. This is part of the botanicals that I plan to do on this piece. I'm going to do echinaceas like this. So I'm glad I found this picture because it's giving me a little idea of something to work with. I'm pretty sure that I can do this. They're so beautiful, are they not? I was thinking I can do this with fabric, but this I might do with French knots. Sometimes their petals go down. Sometimes they, when they're just opening up, they go up. Ah, this is a good picture. Most of these have died off. I'm trying to replant them little by little, but I had a beautiful patch of these echinaceas. They were gorgeous. They were absolutely gorgeous, and the bees loved them. Yeah, that's a lovely one right there. And then the buds. This is good to look at. This is how the buds start. This fuzzy little stuff here. Yeah, I like, this is perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I have to look and see, when is this? Oh, it's not telling me. Yeah, this is good. Different colors, even though they're going to turn out pink like this, they come up quite yellow. So that gives me some ideas. And these are very green here. And I'm going to have some of these. These are Gloriosa daisies, I think. Or they may be black-eyed Susans, I'm not sure. I don't think these are Gloriosa. That pretty? Now look at that. Yeah. I'm so glad I'm doing this. Look at the bee here. Just get closer to the flower. There he is. It's a honeybee. Another one sleeping. Sleeping. Too much pollen. Had to have a nap. Look at them. They are so lovely. I love bees. I'm trying to get a nice close-up of this to show you the center of them. Oh, there's the bee. Look at the pollen on his legs. No wonder he's sleeping. He's pooped. Here we are. This was the rug that I did the little grain elevator on. And I think I could do that. I actually think that the grain elevator is the contender, the final contender for my new picture, but I'm going to use dark fabrics for it. I want it to age. But this was another little piece that I did. I drew it out and I just made it. It was lots and lots of fun. So you can do all kinds of things with fabric collage that are useful. These little mug rugs, I sold them like crazy. I couldn't even keep up with them. So there you go. Well, that is my process for getting my head around a project, a start of a project. Lots of things going through my brain at the moment. And certainly going through my photos does help, because even just looking at those pictures of the different flowers, I see detail that I can add into my own work. So I've got some things to think about now. I have to make a choice on what is going to be my background structure. And once I get that formulated in my head, then I will have to draw out a pattern and start maybe cutting some fabric and see where I go from there. So thank you so much for coming along today. If you like my videos, will you please just consider sharing, or you could subscribe for sure. Give me a like. And I love your comments, so keep them coming. And we'll continue this in another video. Maybe I'll make a little series on this particular piece, because there is a bit of a timeline with this process. I want to finish this piece, and I think it's June I have to have it done by if I want to enter it in for the jury part of it. So maybe I won't be working on it every day, but for certain I will be working on it quite steadily. So thank you, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.